how is it for you personally when you step onto a college campus? Are you able to go anywhere without people just clamoring?
When you do a job, as long as I've done it, people definitely, you're in the public eye, right? I mean, you work on a show that college football fans like, then they watch the show, they like the sport. That's the thing I think with Game Day. I just think, the show has grown quite a bit from when I first joined in 1996 in my first year. And I think you guys can relate to this in doing sports and doing TV. It has a lot to do with the sport you're covering. If I did the show that I'm on and it was the NBA or MLB or even the NFL, it just wouldn't have this kind of following. It wouldn't have this kind of passion. And I think college football fans, no matter where you are, no matter what region you're in, people are rabid about their team and about tailgating and about the band and just everything, all the traditions. And so when you wrap our show around that, in my case for 25 years, when you come on a campus, people are fired up to see you because they feel like when our show shows up, it's a big game.
Right.
And we've kind of put a stamp that week on their campus and that being the big game of the week.
Yeah, that's it's interesting. So I've got two questions based on your statement. The first one is just kind of fun. How much do you get harassed going into Michigan? Because
luckily he doesn't have to go there much anymore.
Yeah,
there's no big games left anymore in Michigan, so you're good on that.
We've not been up there a ton, but it just depends, dude. I mean, like some of them, if they actually listen to their TV, they would find that I'm not your typical hate Michigan guy. I'm not. It's just not my thing. I try to be very objective and analyze them just like I analyze any team. But you're always going to get obviously wise guys that are smart asses and just have to say whatever they're going to say.
Of course. The second question is with the movement in the SEC now, and with I think the Pac-12, ACC, and Big Ten are talking about something as well. Do you think I agree with you that the history of and we were talking about this before the show? One of our producers mentioned it, that the history is almost a character in the movie, kind of like how the Field of Dreams was a character in the movie.
Yeah.
And people love that history. Is this going to upset some of that stuff with these transitions happening?
I think so. I think it has to. If you take Texas and OU out of the Southwest region where they were in, before Southwest Conference and the Big 8 and Big 12, and all of a sudden they're in the SEC. Now they're playing Alabama and Florida and Georgia. It's different. And I'm trying to embrace change. I'm a traditionalist. I like what you were talking about I love rivalries, old rivalries. And I love some of the games that you can think about when you were a kid and watch some of those great games. And I just don't know where we are right now. I don't know what the Big Ten is going to do. I don't know what the Pac-12 is going to do. We don't know what the remaining teams in the Big 12, are they going to try to stay in and be a Big 12 conference, or are they going to leave altogether and join other conferences? So I think the fear of the unknown has a lot of people concerned about the future of the sport.
Yeah. And, I heard you on another show earlier this week talking about a prediction of maybe 4 power conferences, and then they get rid of everyone, get their own president, have them run that, and it is not involved with the NCAA.
Think about that, though. Think about what you're saying, but remove the words from it. Instead of 4 power conferences, say 4 divisions in 2 conferences, and now you're talking about pretty much every major sport, all the big professional sports. Right?
Correct. Yeah.
Some kind of breakdown like that. I mean, it makes sense, frankly.
Here's the real quick difference, though, is the NHL has a commissioner. The NFL has a commissioner, MLB, NBA. Whether you like them or not, the bottom line is they have commissioners that oversee that entire sport. We have in college football, we have currently 5 Roger Goodells that are worried about their own constituents. They're worried about their own fans, their own ADs, presidents, players, coaches, and they should be. And so Greg Sankey in the SEC, he's bringing in Texas and OU, and he's thinking strictly about the SEC and how great can he make the SEC. Kevin Warren's in the Big Ten. He's thinking, how great can I make the Big Ten? My concern is, who's looking out after the entire country of moving this sport together collectively in a certain direction? That's why I think if they do branch off, they will name one voice as the commissioner of the sport, and then that way collectively we can all improve as a group.
Yeah, I just hope that one voice isn't Paul Feinbaum. That's just me personally. Look, as an Ohio State guy, I can't stand the SEC. At least we're not going to have to hear that anymore because there's 83 teams in the SEC. So when you're chanting that now, it doesn't really mean as much anymore. So thank God that's going to be over pretty soon. Boy, am I fucking tired of that nonsense.
This is 30 years of Ohio State ingrained in his fucking brain right here. Nobody else cares.
Not at all. It's, again, you have 84 teams in it. Like, congratulations. Nick Saban, I have no problem calling him the greatest coach of all time. And to me, college football is all about coaching, which is why you've seen the same 4 teams in the top, 5 for the last 10 years, essentially. You got Alabama, Ohio State, Clemson, Oklahoma occasionally, and then, that's whoever else wants to pop in there, maybe Georgia.
Notre Dame is usually in the periphery as well.
Notre Dame gets up there, Georgia gets up there, and LSU. But that kind of sucks, though, really, for the game. I think it's like I'm not a huge NBA fan, but there for a while it was Golden State and Cleveland. It was like, all right, no matter what happens, eventually it's going to be Golden State and Cleveland.
Right.
And the NFL, you get some teams that'll get hot for a little bit, and then you'll get, all of a sudden the Kansas City Chiefs come around and the Patriots are knocked off, or I don't know, like the Bucks last year made a run. So I miss having some parity. I miss having different teams, different storylines. Now, it's not Dabo Swinney's fault. It's not Ryan Day's fault. It's not Nick Saban's fault. I tell you what I think it is I think there's never been more of an emphasis on these kids, this generation of player getting to the NFL. I mean, they are all about getting to the NFL. Whereas when I played, yeah, you wanted to get to the NFL, but man, you could not wait to play college football on those big stages on national TV and hang out in college and enjoy it. These guys, I'm not saying they don't enjoy it, but man, they're focused on the NFL. So Ohio State, they come recruit a kid and they're like, what position do you play? And, oh, okay, well, at defensive line over the last 8 years, these are the guys that have played here. This is how much money they've made.
Yeah.
So if you're interested, come on and be a part of this. Oh, you play corner? Well, all right, let me point my corner list out. Here's who the guys that we've had in the last 7 years that have played corner for us, and they're all playing and starting in the NFL.